Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, August 8th, 2025. Before I jump into the charts, I do need to mention that this week, wickedstocks.com put out two stock picks, one on Rocket Companies, the other on Generac Holdings. So there you have that. We do two a week, always looking for at least a 20% move on that underlying stock. If we don't see that as a clear-cut likelihood of following a buy signal that we always show on the videos themselves, then we don't present it. So you could see all of that. There's a handful that are still very relevant, still sort of on the edge of eliciting significant buy signals that we put out over the last few weeks that you can see for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. And in that free trial, you also receive our daily Triple Q, our daily SPY, our weekly Apple stock analysis, weekly S&P 500, and weekly NASDAQ 100 index analysis. So check us out at wickedstocks.com. So Tesla, long-term chart, 5.5-year channel structure, 519.81, becomes a longer-term objective only if we can get up and over the 357.49 rising channel top in the coming weeks. Until then, that is our price ceiling really through the rest of the year. And in terms of price floor of support longer term, and we're a far distance from it, that is 250.33. So I'm just kind of showing you what are the brackets, if you will, longer term, in case you haven't tuned in for the last few weeks or a couple of months, or maybe you're a first-time viewer. This is the area. These are the areas that you can trade off of longer term. And if you can trade off of something long term, you can trade off of something short term. Long term also can apply to day traders, 3 to 5 day swing traders, 3 to 5 week swing traders. And in this case, we could even see a quarterly high once again in the low to mid upper 350s. Now, I'm going to kind of back up out of that and take a look at the near-term outlook and catch us up on what we're seeing on the daily chart. You know, we've had a series of sell signals, 3 of them actually, in the last 3 or 4 weeks that were of a 2 to 3 week variety. In other words, 2 to 3 week sell signals, expecting bearish continuation over those time horizons, and just rejection shortly thereafter, within days. And so oftentimes, well, this means one of two things, of course, that the market just insists on maintaining this kind of congestive framework where you've got this wedge pattern. And in fact, we've been depicting that now this week. This wedge on the weekly chart is 301.22, a downside, 342.29 upside. The only thing I don't like about 342.29, I think it's sellable, but if we close above it, I'm reluctant to be sort of gung-ho on a longer-term buy signal, although that could play out over time. We could close above 342.29 in the next few weeks on a weekly basis, and then as we look back, you know, say in November or December, we see that as the sort of the key buy signal. But really, if we close above 342.29, this market still must reckon with the 351.39, 50% upside retracement from the December high against the April low, as well as the 2.5-year channel top at 357.49. And so these are still valid levels that, if settled above, do indeed indicate longer-term bullish continuation within probably a half year up to the 519.81 5-year channel top. Let's talk, so back to the day itself, and I just want to mention that I mentioned the 3 failed signals. One was a channel bottom, another was a speed line, and most recently this trend line that we closed below over a week ago, then setting up a 2 to 3 week sell signal, and it wasn't to be. We closed back above this line on Wednesday, and because of that, holding above 319.21, we are expecting 331.96 over the next few days. And yes, quite possibly 344.67. That idea is still valid. It's just that if we close back below 319.22, we're not expecting a big sell signal. What we are expecting, if we close back below 319.22, is 301.22 by the end of next week, which will be a higher level. And so we still like this bracket or this wedge formation. With wedge formations, they're obviously consolidative processes, and the directional likelihood longer term is set up with a settlement outside the wedge. So, we would have a sell signal into September, October if we were to close below 301.22. And like I said, by one measure, we would have a buy signal with a settlement above 342.29, but just can't ignore the low to upper 350s as an area that still needs to be taken out. So yes, there is, you could treat a settlement above 342.29 as kind of a 3 to 5 day, 1 to 2 week buy signal into this zone of resistance, but I digress. Let's get back to the day itself, and I do want to flesh out this chart here once again. On the way up today, 326.61. We just have it as a minor point, but it is a channel top that can contain intraday activity. By the way, all of our minor points can contain intraday activity. We just weight them a little heavier, 319.22, a little heavier because of the sell signal rejection that occurred 2 days ago above it. It did roughly hold Thursday's lows, and above which we could actually see 331.96 today, this descending channel top. That is a 3 to 5 day target, as you recall, above 319.22. And an intraday target today, Friday, if we push through 326.61. 331.96 can contain daily highs, and we can fall away from here for a day or two. But honestly, I think after the sell signal rejections we've seen, the 344.67 area is sort of calling the market. I think we are likely to push into this over the next week or two. And in fact, I think over the next several weeks, and anyway, we are likely to push into the 340s, holding above 301.22. This 342.29 lines up pretty well right now with the 344.67 channel top. And so this 340s is the area that you can begin selling the market on a scaling in longer term basis. You can begin selling, if you will, if that's your trading style, if you're a longer term swing trader, 3 to 5 weeks and out, 3 to 5 weeks and longer, you can begin selling 342.29, scaling into a short position, if you will, up to, once again, 344.67. And ultimately, if we were to then close above 357.49, not only are you covering that short position, but reversing and going long through the rest of the year, 519.81 likely then within about 6 months. Let's go with the downside here.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
I've covered the upside pretty well. The downside, of course, breaking or opening below 319.22. I don't know if we'll see 301.22 today. That would be quite a move to the downside. 301.22 is once again that trend line off the lows on the weekly chart. I will mention that the same exact trend line on the daily chart was violated. We were using it for a while as an intraday pivot point, but the weekly chart has held. And so this is actually the image I want to show, that if we break or open today below 319.22, might we test 301.22? Not likely. We could fall to 312.11. I think that is likely. And any of these minor points on the way down. And there's nothing to say that we won't test 301.22, but I think that would be some event, fundamentally some news that impacts Tesla that would drive it south today, Friday, to 301.22. But I do think if we close today back below 319.22, 301.22 in reach by some point next week, it'll be a little higher next week. It is a level that can contain weekly selling pressures. We could continue filling this wedge out for the next few weeks. And if we were to close below 301.22, which is not going to happen today, but if we did, then I would anticipate anticipate 264.38 within 2 to 3 weeks, 245.24 possible within 3 to 5 weeks. This lower zone, 245.24 to 264.38, we're not going to see it anytime soon, but I'm just kind of giving you the heads up that if we do fall into this area over the next month or two, it is a solid area to cover any short positions you may have that incorporate kind of the 2 to 3 month time frame, because this is an area that may well contain selling over the 2 to 3 month time frame, wherein within a month or two we could rotate upward to some as yet determined price resistance area that we will then obviously be drawing in. So yes, 301.22 solid support, which we're not likely to see today, but holding above 319.22 keeps this sort of updraft going today and into early next week. 331.96 remaining a 3 to 5 day target where we could top out for the day. Solid day tradable level. We could even fall back into the upper 310s from here within several days. So this is a kind of a 3 to 5 day swing trade as well. 331.96 closing above 331.96. Short-term traders, 2 to 3 day, 3 to 5 day swing traders go long up to 344.67. I hope that all made sense. 344.67 is the beginning of a zone. Last thing I'll say, up to 357.49. That can absorb buying really through the rest of the year and have settled above longer-term bullish continuation to 519.81. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. I'll be back, of course, with Monday's Tesla. You have a great weekend.